Hello everyone, my name is Elite Trainer Kenway, and today we're going to do something just a little bit different because one of our friends and long-term supporters of this channel, Leto85, asked us to make an alpha hunting guide for Pokemon Legends Arceus. So here you are, you've caught all the noble Pokemon, you've filled up the Hisuian Pokedex, and you have fought and captured God. And you're thinking, what else can I do to test my mettle as a trainer? Enter the Alpha Living Dex. To build an Alpha Living Dex means to own one of every species of Pokemon in its Alpha form. There are 221 Pokemon ranging from Rowlet to Lucario that can be caught in an Alpha form in Legends Arceus. If you're looking to build an Alpha Living Dex, the best place to start is with Static Alpha encounters. Static Alphas are Alpha Pokemon that spawn in a specific location on the map and spawn in that area every single time you reload the map. Pokemon like Snorlax, Rapidash, Blissey, and Lopunny are all static encounters, meaning that no matter what, those Alpha Pokemon will always be available for capture. All 5 areas have a ton of static encounters that will go a long way to helping you finish your Alpha Living Dex. So real quick, let's look at our 5 Alpha static encounter maps. First, let's look at the Obsidian Fieldlands map. In no particular order, we have Rapidash, Heracross, Floatzel, Graveler, which can be caught twice, Blissey, Parasect, Magikarp, which can be caught twice, Golbat, which can be caught twice, Bibarel, Scyther, which can be caught 3 times, Kricketune, Infernape, Staravia, which can be caught twice, Snorlax, Gyarados, Alakazam, and Luxio, which can be caught twice. Next up is the Crimson Mirelands map. You can find Licky, Roserade in the daytime, Honchkrow at night, Rhyhorn, Whiscash, Onix, Raichu, Carnivine, Vespiquen, Yanmega, Tangrowth, Skuntank, Ursaring, Pachirisu, Toxicroak, Hippowdon, Torterra, Sliggoo, and Ursaring. Rhyhorn can be caught 3 times, Onix can be caught twice, Sliggoo can be caught twice, and Ursaring can be caught twice. Looking at the Cobalt Coastlands map, we have Ninetales, Quillfish, Gastrodon, Empoleon, Lumineon, Tentacruel, Mothim, Octillery, Perugly, Gyarados, Machoke, Drapion, Mantine, Walrein, Ambipom, Golduck, Dusknoir at night, and Chansey. The only 2 on this map that would need to be caught twice and evolved would be Quillfish into Overquill and Machoke into Machamp. Looking at the Coronet Highlands, we have Electivire, Luxray, Gligar, Gabite, Bronzong, Mismagius at night, Rhyperior, Gliscor, Probopass, Golem, Steelix, Goodra, Crobat, Clefable at night, and Mothim. But if you followed my earlier advice, you should already have several of these. And for our last map, the Alabaster Icelands, we have Glade, Chimecho, Gardevoir in the daytime, Hisuian Sneasel, Mamoswine, Abomasnow, Machamp, Swinub, Glalie, Piloswine, Electabuzz, Frostlass, which is underground, Garchomp, and Lucario. The only one of these alphas you would need to catch twice and evolve would be Hisuian Sneasel. Those are all the known locations of the guaranteed static alpha encounters in all 5 areas. And honestly, my original plan was to do a full-on tutorial on how to find every single one of them, but AustinJohnPlays already did 5 of those videos a year ago. The link to those videos are in the description below, but they're pretty easy to find. If you have caught and evolved all the guaranteed alpha Pokemon I've showed you so far, you should now have at least 82 alpha Pokemon. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the 2 Pokemon whose alpha rates can be slightly boosted, although not by a lot. After catching all 28 forms of Unknown and registering them in your Pokedex, you now have a slightly higher chance of getting an Alpha Unknown in the Celestion Ruins in the Crimson Mirelands. Although if you're looking to get all 28 forms of Unknown as alphas, all I can say is good luck with that. After finishing Spiritomb side quests and getting all 108 spirits, a level 80 Alpha Spiritomb has a higher chance of showing up at night in the Shrouded Ruins in the Crimson Mirelands. Although Spiritomb and Alpha Spiritomb can also show up in massive mass outbreaks. And unfortunately, that's it. Those are the only 2 species of Pokemon that you can slightly improve the odds of finding an Alpha. If you're playing somewhere where you can see your Switch screen or your TV well enough, the best way to alpha hunt is in-game at night because you can see their eyes glowing red from further away. Whether you're running around on Weirdeer, gliding on Braviary, or swimming on Basculegion, always keep a lookout around you, especially around nests for alpha Pokemon. Now that may sound like common sense, but you'd be surprised how many alphas or shinies that you can miss because you're too busy looking around when flying on Braviary. As a matter of fact, yesterday when I was recording footage for this video, I came across 2 Alpha Combees and a shiny Beautifly while I was on the back of Braviary. Next bit of advice, if you're running around the map and you know you're right next to a nest of a specific species of Pokemon, take the extra 2 seconds to run over to that nest and check it for alphas. Just like with the flying thing, this may sound like common sense, but you have no idea how many alphas you're missing if you're not checking nests. By the way, I should clarify, when I use the term nests, I'm talking about a cluster of Pokemon that are related that spawn in a specific location. Next thing I want to mention, if you're building an alpha living dex like I did, never evolve your alpha Pokemon until you have enough to fill the entire line. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're in the Cobalt Coastlands and you come across an alpha Magby. If that Magby is the first of its family that you caught as an alpha, you don't know if you'll ever come across another alpha Magby again. It's entirely possible that you could run into 2 more alpha Magbys the next day, or it's entirely possible that you could run into an alpha Magmortar the next day. So never evolve your alpha Pokemon until you have every member of that line completely accounted for. Next piece of advice, always take the 2 or 3 seconds necessary to check a headbutt tree for Cherubi, Burmy, Wormadam, or Combee, because you never know if there's an alpha hiding in that tree. Now, that being said, there's a specific tree in the Obsidian Fieldlands that, when it's shaking, will always spawn a Cherubi. Anytime you enter the Obsidian Fieldlands for any reason, you always want to check that tree to see if there's a Cherubi inside. Cherubi can spawn in every other headbutt tree in the game, but Cherubi is extremely rare and always spawns in that tree when that tree is shaking. Cherubi can also spawn in massive mass outbreaks. So the last thing I want to talk about with you guys today are massive mass outbreaks. Massive mass outbreaks are temporary spawns of Pokemon nests that are fantastic for alpha hunting. The problem is that when you first go into an area that has a massive mass outbreak, you don't know what Pokemon are where because all of the nests are hidden. Thankfully, the game has an answer for this. You can give 5 Agua berries to mice Munchlax, and Munchlax will tell you what every Pokemon nest is in a massive mass outbreak. The only problem with this is that Agua berries are uncommon and fairly annoying to farm. Thankfully, we have a workaround. Once you have 5 Agua berries, you can use those same 5 berries over and over and over again for as many massive mass outbreaks as you like. All you have to do is go into an area with a massive mass outbreak, save your game in front of Munchlax, give your 5 Agua berries to Munchlax, screenshot the map once he shows it to you, then reset your game. Because the map's not going to change, you now know what all the nests are going to be without having to talk to Munchlax. Aside from the guaranteed static encounters, massive mass outbreaks are the second best way to hunt for alpha Pokemon. The last thing we need to talk about are space-time distortions. Space-time distortions are temporary events on the map where you can hunt Pokemon like Porygon, Jotonian Sneasel, Granados, and Shieldon. And unfortunately, there's no shortcut for this. If you want your space-time distortion Pokemon as alpha forms, you're just gonna have to have patience. As a matter of fact, patience is the most valuable tool you have when building your alpha living dex. I have 260 hours logged into Legends Arceus, and I'm pretty comfortable in saying at least 180 of those hours were dedicated to the alpha living dex. So patience is going to be your most valuable tool here. It took me nearly a year after finishing the game to fully complete my alpha living dex. And if you're wondering, no, I did not get all 28 forms of unknown as alphas. I'm not doing that. That's pretty much all the advice I have for you guys today. I hope this was helpful. Leto85, I want to say thank you very much for asking me to make this video. I had a ton of fun making it, and I hope it's helpful to everybody who comes across it. If you guys have any questions regarding alpha hunting or anything else in Legends Arceus, put it in the comments below. As a matter of fact, if you guys have any suggestions for guides you want me to make, put those in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Hope you guys have a fantastic week and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.